friends, welcome back to another What I Eat in a Week video and happy 2023. I hope you have all been keeping very well. Wow, things are boiling away here. So this week I thought I would share with you everything that I eat in a week to feel my best. I understand this time of year can bring up a lot of like diet culture-y kind of conversation and not in the best way, and so this week I just wanted to show you a whole heap of vegan meals that I really enjoy eating from a space of nourishment as well as pleasure and socializing and all of the beautiful things that make up why we eat, basically. So yes, I've got breakfast on the go. I'm actually prepping a bunch of stuff this morning as well. Let me show you what's happening. So I have just been prepping some tofu scramble to enjoy throughout the week. I also made some kale. This was like a whole bunch of kale, but as happens with greens, it's shrunk down so much. And then I'm also prepping a couple of cups of quinoa, and my vision for this is to make a really yummy breakfast bowl. I also prepared some cashew cream to enjoy throughout the week. I'll leave some notes in the description box about how I actually make the cashew cream and what ingredients I use, but basically I boil some cashews so they get super soft, and then I blend them with water and a bunch of other yummy things to make a nice cashew cream that you can enjoy on quite a lot of things. And yeah, I really like prepping that. I also prepped for the week some chocolate coated strawberries, which I definitely will be enjoying throughout the week. Just picture me between meals snacking on chocolate coated strawberries, because that's probably what I'll be doing. Let's build this breakfast bowl because I am very hungry and ready to eat. Alrighty, there we have it. A very delicious, nourishing, start to the day. So for dinner on Monday night, I had a pretty early one. I started by cooking up some polenta, which I haven't quite mastered the art of cooking polenta yet, but I love it so much, so I just keep giving it a crack. I baked it in the oven and then cut it up. It wasn't quite crispy enough on the outside though, so I popped a couple of pieces into some oil over the heat just to fry them up a little bit and get them nice and crispy. And then I had this in a salad, so I just put some lettuce, onion and cucumber as well as lime juice, oil, salt and pepper in a bowl and mixed it together. I also roasted some chickpeas, and then I put these polenta cakes on top for a very yummy fresh dinner. So if you've been watching my YouTube channel for a while, you'll probably know about my ritual of having an iced cacao. If you're new, I'm not a coffee drinker, but I really like the ritual of having something to drink most mornings, and so that is how the iced cacao came to be, which is cacao powder, maca powder, maple syrup and some hot water mixed together, poured over some ice with some plant-based milk. I really love starting my day with this. It's just like a really nice thing that I do for myself. And then for breakfast this morning as well, I had, first of all, some sourdough bread that I was clearly having some difficulty cutting up, as you do, with some of that cashew cheese that I had made earlier in the week, as well as some avocado and tomato, salt and some pepper on top. Really, really delicious. Then when it came to lunchtime, I had prepared the rice paper rolls the day before, so I had 4 of these still in the fridge ready to go. Definitely something I recommend making in advance if you do like having just a really quick and easy nourishing lunch to go. I also had one of these mandarin sodas that I just love so much at the moment, and yeah, it was a really, really great fresh lunch whilst I was working. this year is to learn how to eat with chopsticks.
Oh, okay.
That's a good one.
It's a really good one.
So lately I've been really enjoying learning how to bake things from scratch, and something that I feel like I have mastered the art of is making bagels. So I decided to prep some bagels this morning. I got up nice and early to do it. It's just like such a therapeutic thing for me. I really, really love it so much, and I made a whole bunch of them to be able to enjoy throughout the week and share with my loved ones as well. And then once these were all done, it was time for me to have breakfast. So I had a fresh bagel, which doesn't even need to be toasted when you've made them so fresh. They're so delicious, with some tofu scramble that I had left over, and then I heated up, which was really delicious with some barbecue sauce. You know, barbecue sauce goes on most things and tastes good on most things. So that is what I had for breakfast. Then when it came to lunch, I started by frying up some onion in some olive oil as well as some tempeh. Then I also added in some soy sauce as well as some garlic powder, and I fried this up, fried it up for quite a while to get that tempeh nice and crispy. Whilst that was happening, I boiled some water and added in some broccoli and some carrot into it. Then I added in some red capsicum as well as the broccoli and the carrot, which I had pre-boiled, in with the tempeh and onion, and I kept frying this all up. From there, I just added in some instant noodles that I had pre-cooked. Also added in some teriyaki sauce, which I just love teriyaki sauce so much at the moment. Mixed this together, and this made a whole heap of stir fry, so I could again share with loved ones and keep some for leftovers for me to enjoy later in the week. On Wednesday night, I had dinner with my friends. It is so beautiful how light it is staying late at the moment. Really been loving it. And my friend Bonnie made the the TikTok trend pasta with a vegan feta, capsicum and tomato pasta. It was really, really delicious. Okay. Ooh. Good morning, happy Thursday. We're having a very delicious foodie week, that's for sure. This morning I'm having my iced cacao on oat milk, and I also just have a leftover bowl this morning. I've got some of what I made on Monday, so the tofu, kale, quinoa. I also added just some chunks of avocado today. That's gonna be my breakfast. I really, really like this as like a savory breakfast alternative. Otherwise, I just feel like I'm having avocado on toast all the time, which is like not a bad thing. I literally feel like I could eat avocado on toast every single day and I would feel happy. I also want to say a big thank you to Squarespace, who have sponsored today's video. If you're perhaps new to veganism or trying out Veganuary or just looking to change things up and try some new recipes, I have a whole bunch of delicious vegan recipes over on my website. That is amandadux.com, and I host and design my website using Squarespace. Now, you might know by now all of the wonderful things that I enjoy about Squarespace, but the main things that I really love are not only how easy it is to link like all of your social media platforms in the one place, but also how easy it is to create blog posts, which is the majority of what I do on my website. I am sharing vegan recipes so that people can come back to them and enjoy them whenever they are feeling called to do so. And honestly, blogging is one of those things where it's like it can take up a lot of time, but it doesn't have to take up a lot of time. And so that's what I've really enjoyed about using the blogging features on Squarespace. There's really easy features to be able to duplicate things that you are doing. It's very easy to upload images and all of that beautiful stuff. So if you are looking to host or design your own website this year, I definitely recommend using Squarespace to do so. You can go to squarespace.com for a free trial, and then when you're ready to launch, you can go to squarespace.com/AmandaDux and use my code AmandaDux, and that gets you 10% off your first purchase of a website or a domain. Okay, I'm actually gonna eat my breakfast now, have my iced cacao, and I'll see you when it's time for lunch. Okay, so Thursday ended up being one of those work days, you know, the ones that are just like a little bit chaotic, especially when you're working from home and you just feel like you can't get things done and things are just going wrong. Anyway, that was happening. My point is I made myself a huge smoothie because I literally just felt like I was having one of those days where I couldn't think about anything that I wanted to make. So I went with having a smoothie as a go-to to get heaps of nutrients in, to get myself feeling nice and full, which was really, really good. And then in the afternoon, I also snacked on some of those chocolate-coated strawberries, which then leads us into dinner. Okay. Hello. So tonight I'm going to play netball, and I don't know if anyone else can relate to this feeling, but something I struggle with like playing a sport in the evenings or like working out in the evenings in any capacity is that like I don't want to eat beforehand because I feel like it's going to make me feel ill, but then after I've worked out I really struggle to find the motivation to cook something, especially if it's late at night, because sometimes I'll get home at like 8:30 or 9 o'clock and I'm like, I literally can't be bothered making myself a nourishing meal right now. So one of my goals for this year is to really prioritize still eating a nourishing meal before or after I play sport, and also being more prepared when it comes to this. So I'm about to head off and play, but I'm going to prep myself some tofu that I can easily just cook up as soon as I get home tonight and make a quick tofu sandwich. Kind of a random dinner, but I'm like, it's going to be yummy, it's going to be nourishing, that's the main thing. And something my boyfriend has taught me to cook are these like things that he calls tofu steaks, which are basically just like yummy chunks of tofu that go perfectly into like a sandwich or a bread roll or something like that. They're really good to actually prep in advance if you want to have sandwiches, whether they be breakfast sandwiches, lunch sandwiches, dinner sandwiches throughout the week. So if you're someone who likes that kind of meal and finds it easy, I definitely recommend trying making these and seeing if you like them. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to prep these tofu steaks, and then when I get home tonight, I'll be able to make a really, really quick dinner that'll make me feel really good, and it'll be fresh. So it'll be lovely. Okay, so to prep these tofu steaks, I just started by slicing my tofu and then coating it into some olive oil, as well as some smoked paprika, vegan chicken stock powder, and garlic powder, and then toss that all together, then into a frying pan. I basically placed it all into the frying pan and fried it up until it was nice and crispy on both sides. Then I went to netball, came home from netball, made myself a late dinner, which was just a sandwich. You know what? Sandwiches are just one of those things that you can just have for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, and they're like always good. Anyway, I made myself a sandwich with lots of fresh ingredients. It was a really good quick dinner. Made me feel nice and good after running around for a whole heap of time. And yeah, then that leads us into a very beautiful Friday morning. Good morning. I am up early having breakfast this morning because I am heading to work today, not working from home, working out of home. So making myself a nourishing breakfast to start the day. I'm really embracing the art of leftovers at the moment and making things in advance. So I am going to have some tofu scramble on the bagels that I made with a couple little extra things just to fill me up and nourish me a little bit more, because I'm not too sure what time I'll get home from work today. And yeah, let's get into breakfast. So on Friday afternoon when I got home from work, I was so hungry and I decided to just heat up some of that teriyaki stir fry that I had, and whilst it was heating up I ate one of these chocolates, these Loco Love chocolates that are like my favorite things on the planet. This was like an almond caramel crunch one. It was so unbelievably good, and whilst I was snacking on that, the stir fry finished. I served it into a bowl. Very, very simple leftovers lunch, which I'm loving my leftovers so much at the moment. So this was just lovely. Then that evening we went to our friend Sophie's house for dinner. You know, if you've been around the YouTube channel a while, Sophie always spoils us with delicious food, and tonight she made us these enchiladas, which were just incredible. When it came to Saturday morning, I was in that mood for like like something savory but also something sweet. So I had one piece of toast with some of the cashew cream on it, as well as some sliced tomatoes and some salt and pepper on top. And then I also served it with a yellow nectarine on the side because nectarines are in season here and they are my favorite fruit of all time, so I've been enjoying them a lot. Then when it came to lunchtime, I had those tofu steaks in the fridge still, and I basically just had a really similar lunch to what I had for breakfast in some way, because I just had a sandwich with tofu, tomato, the cashew cream, onions, cucumber, alfalfa, just keeping it very simple on this Saturday, which I have been loving so much lately. Something else I've been loving lately is this crispy broccoli. I made it kind of as a fluke for some friends when they were coming over for taco night, and it was so good, and I'm like, oh my god, I think I've just discovered my new favorite thing. I'm going to work on a proper recipe for this and I'll share it with you on YouTube Shorts soon. But yeah, it is like so unbelievably good. And so I just made some tacos with some coconut yogurt, lettuce, the crispy broccoli, some pico de gallo, which is just tomato and onions, and then also some coriander on top, which was really fresh, delicious, a great summer meal because we're in the heart of summer here in Australia right now. On Sunday morning, my boyfriend and I were having a slow morning, and we just decided to have like a bit of a leftover breakfast once again. So we had some tomatoes, so we roasted them, had some leftover tofu scramble, and had some vegan sausages in the freezer. So just cooked all of this up, had some cashew cream with spinach on it left over as well. And so yeah, that's what we had for breakfast. It was really good. Then for lunch, I had this craving for chickpea tempeh. I used to eat chickpea tempeh all the time, and I haven't been lately. So I went and got some, and I sliced it thinly, put some olive oil, salt and pepper, as well as garlic powder, smoked paprika, and some barbecue sauce on it, and I tossed this all together. Then I transferred this tempeh onto a baking tray, and I put it in the oven to bake it for like 20 to 25 minutes. Chickpea tempeh has like a very acquired taste, I would say, but I really, really like it. I then made a really quick salad with some of that leftover cashew cream as the dressing, with some tomatoes, cucumber, lettuce, and alfalfa. I also added in some of the leftover quinoa that I had in the fridge. This is just like a leftovers video, really, isn't it? And then I topped it with some of the barbecue chickpea tempeh. Then when it came to dinner, I was feeling an early dinner and an early night on Sunday to get me prepared for like the week ahead, basically. And I just decided to make a really quick nachos, if you can even call it that, because it's basically just like some corn chips with a bean and onion mix and some coconut yogurt on top. Spoiler alert. But yeah, I just cook up the onions, some black beans in some spices and some tomato, and then I pile this on top of some corn chips, as well as putting some coconut yogurt on top, and then some coriander. So simple. This meal takes like 10 minutes to make, so if you're ever feeling stuck for a lunch or dinner recipe, I definitely recommend giving it a go. And that brings us to the end of everything that I ate in a week. If you're new to my channel, I've left some videos on the screen that you might like. But yeah, thank you for being here. Hope you enjoyed today's video. Have a beautiful day, and I will look forward to seeing you next week with another video. Bye.